Hey everyone, here's my audience. There you go. Ghosts, zombies, celebrities, and TV characters. What do they all have in common? They're all cornerstones of the American tradition of Halloween. Halloween is one of the most celebrated American holidays out there, but it has ties to foreign roots. I've been wondering about the history of Halloween and how we came to be celebrating, being like trick or treating, bobbing for apples, those sorts of things. Halloween ties from Celtic festivals, Roman Catholic traditions, and has changed overwhelmingly through immigration into the United States. Let's begin with the Celts. Halloween dates back to the festival of Samhain, which was celebrated in the United Kingdom throughout the early centuries. It was a New Year's celebration on November 1st. It marked the end of the harvest and summer, but it also marked the beginning of darkness and death. The Celts believed that this day also had the boundary between life and death was very thin, so they would think that ghosts could be coming back. They also began doing large fires and animal sacrifices to their gods. And while sacrificing, they would wear costumes, but these costumes were animal faces and furs. This was not a celebration, but it was a period of sadness that their summer and their harvest was over. They would pray to the gods for health and safety, and they would also pray that they wouldn't lose all their crops. Now, this celebration was a festival for a long time with the Celts, but then the Roman Empire overcame and conquered the Celts. The Roman traditions began to mesh with some of the Samhain ones, and the first tradition was Farella. And Farella was a festival that was in late October, and it was a day to remember the dead. It was often a time to honor those and your friends and family that you lost throughout the year. The second festival was to honor Pomona, and Pomona is the ancient goddess of fruit. Her sign was the apple. And so with the apple, they began to do a tradition of bobbing for apples. That's the only reason we do it. And so through the Roman traditions, we were given bobbing for apples, and it was also a sign of remembering the dead, which is a certain thing that we do with Halloween. And so when Halloween came to America through the early colonists, we began to get a more Americanized tradition and less sacrifice and religion with it. It was celebrated in southern colonies and Maryland, not the eastern colonies, because they were full of Protestants who refused to celebrate it. They were originally just parties with neighbors. They would tell ghost stories, they would light fires, they would sing, and they would honor their dead. By the 19th century, most Americans celebrated this tradition, and this could be given to the rise of Irish immigrants into the United States. But then a lot of families wanted to celebrate this, and since it was a darker holiday where they would tell very scary stories and they would wear a scary mask and certain things like that, American parents decided to tone it down. They began doing trick or treating and adding more friendly costumes to it. The early trick or treating was kids going to houses and asking for either money or food, and now we just get candy. And so I think all this shows that this holiday is really just a melting pot of a lot of traditions into one. And really, we came from the Celts began it at first, then the Romans, and then it was early immigrants to the United States. Even some Native American ties came into it. So it just shows how big of a melting pot the United States is and what a holiday Halloween is. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.